I have been back down to the bike shop and we have tried the pendulum crank. We took the pendulum off and put the remainder on the crank, slid it up and down, did some little tweaks, pedal, try this, try that. Nothing scientific, to be frank, and this is what it ended up looking like. So yeah, although my left leg does not straighten as much as my right leg, it also doesn't bend as much, which means I can get it round, and I'm feeling pretty happy. It doesn't feel that strange, but I've spoke to the physio and Joel reckons I need to be careful of the left and right side balance when I'm actually riding the bike for the first time, because the loss of the weight of that left leg might affect the balance, which is a fair point, I suppose. But so the bike is in the back of my car, it's going home, and we've changed the cassette on the trainer so I can attach it to the trainer and get back onto Zwift, even though it's only on a mountain bike. That doesn't matter. And then I'm going to keep practicing getting that left foot out of the pedal, and then I can go on the road. I have managed to get it in, but I can't smoothly get it out. We have loosened the clip as much as we can, so the pedal is really loose, and it's just now a case of practice. So I am just about to be able to start cycling again. It's the first thing I'm going to do when I get home. So I'm feeling quite excited about that. We also did some problem solving at the physio. So I send him an email and say, hey Joel, I need to fix this. How can we do it? So the walking I did the other day up and down the driveway, I was noticing the sort of slightly wonky look. So I sent it to him and said, hey, how do we fix this? He's watched it on his video, on his computer screen a number of times, backwards and forwards. And he said that the stride patterns sounded the same, but he was wondering whether the stride length was the same. So he stood me against the wall, checked the leg length looks right. So he's thinking that what I'm doing is stepping a shorter step with my right foot. So I tried it up and down the gym earlier, trying to really extend the back of that step on the left-hand side, and this is what it now looks like. So he might be onto something. So I'm going to keep working on that and see how we go. My exercise for this week is standing on one leg, which is really hard when your one leg is like this on a stilt sort of effect. I'm finding it really freaking hard, but we're trying to get the quad activation back in here so that we can get this leg working again. So that is the goal for this week for physio. On the theme of International Women's Day, which is actually a month-long event, I think, which started to come up on my feed yesterday, I thought I would talk about 3 people that spring to mind straight away that have positively affected me on my original journey to fitness and getting up to Team GB and racing and that sort of thing, from the obese couch person to when I first started racing in triathlon. So here are my 3 people. Jane Tomlinson is English, and she died of cancer a wee while ago. There is a charity set up in her name, but she was quite famous in England for being a really big cancer fundraiser. She was suffering from breast cancer, and whilst from her diagnosis right through to when she finally lost the battle, she spent that whole time campaigning and fundraising. Now, I've read her book, You Can't Take It With You, and it really is a fabulous read. It was a book I read and then got rid of, and then somebody bought it for me again a few years later, and I've still got it, and I'm going to read it again actually, because she's the one that got me started in triathlon. I was looking for a goal. Well, I wasn't actually. I was just reading a book when I think about it. And it came around the time when I was looking to lose weight and that sort of thing. And I did the weight loss thing with Weight Watchers, but then I wanted to then run a half marathon. That was my first goal. And sorry, which is a bit crazy really when you're obese and never done anything. But anyway, I was reading her book, and while she was suffering from cancer, she did the London Marathon. She cycled across America. She cycled from Rome back to Leeds in northern England. She cycled the length of England from John O'Groats to Land's End, And she also did an Ironman. And the first time she tried the Ironman, she had to learn how to swim, and she didn't meet the swim cutoff and couldn't finish the race. And she went back and she tried it again. All of this whilst undergoing chemotherapy, whilst suffering from cancer. And I thought, oh my God, if somebody with cancer can knock out a little race, like a big race like that, then geez, surely I can knock out a triathlon. And the thing that had been putting me off had been the swimming. And that really was the thing that prompted me to give it a go. When I read her story, I went and had swimming lessons. And she is the reason why I actually started triathlon and believed it was even possible. The next person used to be an elite triathlete for Ireland, Emma Davis. Now, I had her as a coach for a while at the second half of my triathlon career. And she was someone who made me believe that I was not just some average Joe Blogs and I could actually do it. She was a runner and I was not. And she pushed the ass off of me to get the best possible results out of me and made me realize that the only thing that is the limiting factor is yourself. I finished my triathlon career with a top 10 world finish and a top 5 European finish. And I would solely credit that to Emma Davis and the punishing training that she used to put me through and all of the technicalities of that. She would hyperanalyze my run form, video it and show me, and I still use one of the apps she used to use even now. I believe she's now a physiotherapist, which is fabulous. So thank you, Emma. She was my second person that came to mind as being an inspirational female in my sporting career. The third one is Kim Ingleby. Now, she lives in Bristol and has a personal training business, I think, maybe, and she's also does a neuro-linguistic programming, and she's a massage therapist and a number of other things, and international speaker, and she's been on a TED Talk and all sorts of stuff like that. She does all sorts. Now, how I came in contact with her was at Budapest in 2010 when I did the World Championships there. She was the team massage therapist, and I went for a massage. And whilst I was there, she said, "Do you want to do some head stuff?" I was like, "What's that?" "Oh, just next time you come back, just bring a piece of paper telling me everything that could possibly be a barrier for you achieving your best possible race." I thought, oh, that's easy. And I filled the paper with stuff that possibly could go wrong, because I was very much a glass half empty person at that point. And by the time she'd finished talking to me, she'd scrambled my brain and torn up the paper. And I then went on to race a personal best time in that race. And she's totally turned around my way of thinking. And now that turned me into, over time, a very driven, positive viewed, I can do this, the sky is the limit, any type of goals, you've seen that from me. And the birth of that was Kim when she introduced me to neuro-linguistic programming. I then went on and did the qualification myself. Now, it's not something I use too much as a client appointment, but it certainly did help change my outlook from the glass half empty to the glass half full, and that has stood me in good stead for the whole of my life ever since. So thank you, Kim, for that. So I'd love to hear from you. Who are your influential females in your life that have really turned things around for you, inspired you, that sort of thing? Pop your comments below, or send me a private message if you'd rather you didn't pop the comments below. I'd love to hear about all those amazing women in the world that are inspiring us and the previous and the future generations.